Our community is listed as the third highest in poverty rates in the United States. And 1/3 of the households in our community, in the 15 communities in Mora County, are headed by women. When the settlers came to the area, the government awarded certain common people land grants. We have recently set up a commission in our community in order to try to recuperate some of that land that was taken from us, so that we will be able to again use it as communal land. One of the other projects is Mujeres Unidas, which means Women United. And what we've done with the program there is identify entrepreneurs in the women entrepreneurs in the community. We've identified, we've been able to establish an artisan bank and a website for women to be able to market their products out of the community.
The thing that she said about the land just made my blood boil, because first it was the Native Americans. My family's been here for 14,000 years. Through the years of studying under Starry's program, I looked at a lot of models, and one that came to mind was, I heard about is from Ireland, where they went in and they registered every fifth house to be a bed and breakfast. I did what is called asset mapping and figured out what kind of assets we had. And we knew that there was a need that people liked to come to our place. They wanted to come, they wanted the home cooking, they wanted the fresh air. But our little operation has grown to, over Christmas we had people from Finland, we had people from Germany, England.
I come from Northern California, from a very rural community. I'm a Native American from Big Valley Rancheria. I grew up in a very poor community with very poor housing, and so housing is basically my focus. My project is implementation of Individual Development Account Program, which is a savings account program for home ownership.
I work in Yolanda's community up in Northern California. I was an Indian housing director and a traditional government housing authority director for many years. Individual development accounts often are focused towards the people with the greatest needs, and therefore probably 99% of our participants are women, particularly women-headed households with minor children. It's going to be really hard for a low-income woman who's barely making ends meet, maybe not making ends meet, to save up any money. So the nice feature about individual development accounts is that often we will go after funding, sometimes government funding, sometimes private foundation, or even in the United States by legislation now, lending institutions, and we'll provide matching funds towards savings.
The women that I worked with were very poor women. They were hardworking, and they did the best they could to raise their children. Some of these women did learn that they had power to influence the change in their lives for the good. And not only did they help themselves, but they helped to organize other people. And I want to talk about a concept that's not new, but it is a concept that many people do not know about. And it is called the giving circles. A giving circle begins with one individual gathering a small group of women together in an informal way. Women who are like-minded. And what happens, the purpose of the giving circle is to leverage individual giving, to participate in social network of people who share similar interests and values. I just said that. It's also to form social justice organizing groups to advocate for their needs. And the beautiful part about these small informal groups is that they pool their money and they decide who they are going to grant the money to.
My major credential is that I'm a mother of 5 children and 3 grandchildren. I began in Belize during a time of civil war and disturbances all over Central America. So it was not just about economic development or women and development, but the context in which we do that. And one of the things that I did in founding the Belize Rural Women's Association, The Belize Rural Women's Association was formed as a result of crisis in our country. I know that I learned about financing from my grandmother, who was able to trade goods and services from one country to the next. People from other countries living in the United States don't come just for meetings, but come to show the wealth and the simplicity of financing and organizing, which comes from the culture and history of our people. So that wealth is not just about money and cash, but it's about the relationships that we have developed amongst one another as women.